can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that you people. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? This phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Muller.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hello, I'm Alex Daikaiju.
I'm Jasmine May with.
And I'm Eli Watson.
And we are
Cryptid
Campfire.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Campfire. Today is an interesting day because we don't have... shout out to Jasmine's shirt. For those of you watching the YouTube video, you can see that she is wearing a tie-dyed original Cryptid Campfire tee. We have a new Cryptid Campfire tee, but
it's newer. The new Cryptid Campfire t-shirt's been out for a while. It's just newer. There's two versions now. We didn't just drop.
It's new. On the website it says new,
It says
and
new.
the website doesn't lie
Okay.
because I made it and I don't lie. So today's special because we're not talking about one particular cryptid. We're bringing the tome to a close, if we will. It's been a while since we've closed a tome. You know, it feels weird because I don't know what this is supposed to feel like. But yeah, this is it. And we've done this before. This is the end of the Coliseum.
Season finale.
Like the season finale of the Coliseum. We ended it, we brought it back, and now we're ending it again. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back. We don't know.
We don't.
Do you know?
No.
I don't know. But first things first, I think we're going to take a reflection back on some of the things we've covered so far in the tome, in this tome this year.
Yeah.
So what was y'all's favorite episodes?
Well, didn't you say you wanted us to guess each other's favorites?
Go ahead. Guess mine.
Okay.
No.
So in our last meeting, when we were trying to figure out how we wanted to do this sort of like season finale episode, we were like, well, maybe we could talk about our favorite episodes. Maybe we could talk about our favorite cryptids. What we learned. It's similar pitches to what our first episode with the Paranormal Network was, which was like a retrospective sort of thing. Anyway, and Eli was like, oh, we should guess each other's favorite episodes because you're never going to guess mine because it's super unexpected. And so I was like,
it is, unless you guys guess it.
So now I don't know. I didn't know like what to do. I'll say this. It's definitely not the skunk ape because I feel like we're skunk aped out this season. So I don't think it's definitely not the skunk ape. My thoughts were either Owlman or the Cadborosaurus, specifically because there was Darren Naish beef involved.
Darren Naish.
Alex, what about you? What do you think Eli's favorite was?
I was thinking into it. And I remembered we did an episode about unicorns. And in legends, they talk about how unicorns have big, long manes that blow in the wind when they run around the forest. And I remember when I first met Eli Watson, he had a mane like a unicorn.
He did.
He really had a big, long mane. And at one point, he even had a zit right here. So it looked like he had a horn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
he just
Just
like a
expose
unicorn.
him. Good Lord.
Oh, it's funny.
Are any of us right? Are either of us right? Any of us?
Alex is correct.
Alex is right? Okay. That's funny because I was going to guess that Alex's favorite episode was the unicorns. Is that true too?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
Eli, why was unicorns your favorite this season?
Well, unicorns was my favorite because there's a shocking bit of really cool mythology about unicorns. I didn't realize, I don't know. I feel like in today's society, unicorns are kind of seen as girly, if you want to say it like that or whatever. But there's like a lot of like really strong symbolism associated with the unicorn, and like it represent and it having religious connotations and things like that, and the fact that Catholics went to, fought about, this thing is blasphemous, it's like, wow, it's just a unicorn, bro. But
Yeah.
to me, that's all like,
Yeah, right.
it's really fascinating. Like, wow, that's really cool. So
It's true. I mean, we had pitched doing a unicorn episode a couple of times in the past, and I think I was the one who brought it up one or two times, but then I was like, actually, I don't want to do it because I feel like that's going to be a dumb episode and whatever. And we finally did it in this tome, and I too was surprised about how much like quote research, well, maybe not quote, like research that you can do about the history and the mythology, like Eli was just saying. Like, I feel like that episode surprised all of us.
yeah.
And the cryptid battle for sure surprised all of us that Alex wrote. So vicious.
And that's talking about the history of unicorns. They're pretty brutal back in the day.
Yeah. Eli, what do you think Alex's favorite episode was?
Let me take this opportunity to thank y'all for watching Cryptid Campfire, and ask that if you enjoy our shows, please subscribe to our channel right now. Like this video and click on the bell so you can be notified each time a new video goes up. And now, back to the show.
Let me pull up a quick listing of the episodes.
I have it right in front of me if you need it.
Wampus Cat is that's what I'm going with. The Wampus Cat.
Is he right, Alex?
No.
Oh.
Although, like, the Wampus Cat's a great contender. I did really love the Wampus Cat. He womped ass.
So what was your favorite then?
Did you have a guess yet? Oh, you said unicorn.
I thought it would be unicorns because I remember when we were planning the tome, you had wanted to do the unicorn episode, and I kept asking for us to push it back because I didn't feel like it was going to be a strong episode. So I was like, let's put something stronger first. Like, let's do a legit one and then we can do unicorns. But you were like, I want to do unicorns. And then you wrote that crazy cryptid battle. So yeah, I thought it might be your favorite, but it's not. So prove me wrong.
All right. Well, my favorite is the Falkville Metal Man.
Oh God.
No way.
and I will say, because when we started looking into it, I was like, I know about the Metal Man. I know a little about the history. So we went into it further, and there's that weird angle of like the sheriff. I can't think of the guy's name.
Greenhaw.
I don't know if Greenhaw. Yeah. Greenhaw, sheriff, he's at home, gets a call from a woman who says she saw like a UFO or something. He's off duty, goes to go check, investigate, sees just this weird metal statue thing in a field, which I could picture as being like an A24 movie. Great night scenes in an empty field with like a metallic thing in the distance, kind of not moving, just staying still. But then when he goes back to report, people are like, yeah, well, you're stupid, and the whole town just turns against him for no reason. And I feel like that you can make a really good, I've been doing this joke like for a few seasons now, but A24 and cryptid movies, it's got to be done. And I could see the Metal Man being psychological movie that has Metal Man in it.
Yeah.
Quick question. Eli, is Alex cutting out for you, or is that just me?
He cut in and out there for a second, but I could still hear what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, as long as it's mostly picked up.
Well, you're freezing. Your camera's freezing.
Yeah, and also you can say Falkville.
I'm leaving this in.
No, you can't. We can't let the people know that we stop and say things during the episode to make sure that our equipment is functioning properly and that we are on the same page. People can't know that.
Too late. They do now.
They can't see us.
Oh God.
They can't see us using a bucket to get the water out.
Okay,
Wow.
talk about me now, guys. It's my
Jasmine.
turn. What do you think my favorite was?
Jasmine's favorite episode was. I have two guesses. Okay. It's actually the same that you guessed for me. Either Caddy or the Owl Man.
Why?
Because I feel like you liked those episodes.
You must not have been paying attention when we did Caddy, because I told you how sick I was of her. I was like, I researched this thing for a month and I am ready to get it done.
Okay. So
Alex,
I'm wrong.
Alex, what was the other one you said? You said Caddy or
Owlman.
Owlman. Okay. Alex, what do you think my favorite was?
I think it might have been Skunk Ape.
Why?
Because we had a chance to interview Eli and get to know some info about Florida. And like, I don't know, you always get excited when you get a chance to grill Eli about his expeditions.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, you know what, Alex, you're actually right. So I don't have like a singular favorite episode from this tome, because we went really hard on the Skunk Ape, and that's been my favorite cryptid from this whole season that we've done, just because, you know, we didn't plan on it being a two-parter episode, but those first two episodes that we did on the Skunk Ape, like, I remember that night we were like, this is way too much information for one episode. Like, we have to do a two-parter. And we just then and there that night, we were like, okay, it's going to be a two-part episode, but we're getting it all done right now. And then we also had, you know, interviews with Sean Whitley and Stacey Brown Jr., which were great. And then, yeah, Eli's own visit to Florida in search of the Skunk Ape, got a freaking Skunk Ape headquarters t-shirt from him. Like, he freaking met Dave Shealy. Like, come on now. Like, I know that this whole tome wasn't focused on the Skunk Ape, but it feels like it was pretty Skunk Ape heavy. And I actually retained a lot more information about the Skunk Ape than I do with some of our other like one-off episodes. Like, I feel like I have a good bank of knowledge. Don't quiz me on any of it because I won't be able to remember off the top of my head. But I just feel very familiar with the Skunk Ape, and I feel like it's going to stick with me for a while. And I feel like our episodes were really strong.
They were, including the follow-ups, you know, the Stacey Brown interview, and of course, I guess my interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were strong. So, yeah.
Cool.
Hey. So, if you're listening at home, did you keep score? Who got what right? So I think
you're the only one who got anything right.
Or 2 for 0.
Wait, Alex got both of them right.
Oh yeah, he did. Good job,
See,
Alex.
I know you guys. I know you.
It's true. Well, we don't know what's about to happen next, and I'll tell you why. So for this Cryptid Coliseum finale, we decided that we would each write a cryptid battle. So usually at the end of an episode, one of us has written a cryptid battle for the cryptid that the episode is focused on. We put them on the battlefield with some other cryptid from the past that we've covered. But today we each wrote our own that we're going to share. None of us know what the other people wrote. So like, we didn't collaborate on this. This wasn't hey, I'm going to write about it this way, you can do it this way. We literally just went to our own spaces and created a final cryptid battle for this Coliseum finale. And so we don't know how these are going to interact. We don't know how these are going to go, but
yeah, it's
we're
exciting.
going to share them.
You get a chance to see how we tell stories and inside of our brains, how it works.
Yeah.
So they're going to be really different.
They are. I'm excited though. It's gonna be funny, and I don't know. I just have a lot of feelings. Okay. But I think Eli is gonna go first. So are you ready?
First. Yes. It's a little lengthy.
That's great though. That is the main part of this finale episode anyways. This is what the episode's about. So mine's a little lengthier than they have been in the past too. It's not very long, but it's longer than ones from previous episodes.
Okay, well, everyone buckle in and try to picture it in your brain.
Okay.
A white marble pillar falls and crushes the hippopotamus-like Chambers creature. Straight into it. It splashes its green and gooey innards out, soaking the skunk ape and wampus cat alike. Yeah, I'm picturing like the Nickelodeon slime, you know?
It-
Huh?
just like there's that video where Katy Perry got hit in the face with all the slime.
Yeah, like that. But picture
skunk
a
ape
hippopotamus being crushed. And anyways, skunk ape roars into the now desolate looking Colosseum. Pillars are cracked. The Colosseum itself is descending in a spiral pattern towards the planet below, and most of its audience lies strewn about, murdered in horrible and disgusting ways.
Oh man.
It all began when Toby infiltrated the Colosseum's mainframe and sabotaged the controls, letting all the cryptids out at once.
Ah!
You're telling me the Coliseum is a UFO?
I don't know.
That's what it sounds like.
Look, Toby infiltrated it, okay? Who runs it? Who controls it? That's still up in the air.
Okay.
You know, I feel like every Colosseum battle, we find out something more and more about this Colosseum.
We
You
do.
know, like what?
And we will.
See, now we're raising questions, right? There's a mainframe that you can sabotage.
Yeah.
Right? But who set that up? Who created that? I don't know.
World building, folks.
Okay. The Ropin attacked the audience first, but left them but left themselves open to the Owl Man, which gobbled them up like guppies. The Metal Man used the chaos to his advantage to fulfill what he'd come to planet Earth for, the ultimate hunt. He managed to snipe the Owl Man out of the sky. He plummeted and impaled himself on the unicorn horn. The unicorn, now dealing with all the extra weight on its head, fell over. The Metal Man gazed over at the skunk ape, engaged in a tough battle with the wampus cat, the two going at it, screaming and clawing at each other. Cadborosaurus lay limply on the dry ground, struggling for air.
Struggling for water is what you should say.
You are correct. Okay. Which is so funny because I knew that mentally, and that's not what I wrote. The Metal Man,
amazing so far.
The Metal Man moved his expressionless face to gaze upon the Colosseum. He used his rocket bombs to blow up a pillar and watched as it tumbled over and fell, crushing the chamber's creature. All right, now we're back to the present. Caddy soaks up the green juices and begins to mutate. It grows larger and larger. Its flippers become appendages. Its teeth become twice as large. And soon, Caddy is an unrecognizable horror, a hideous biological mashup of a sea serpent and a man-like entity. And then in parentheses, don't ask me how that works. The skunk ape. Whoa. The skunk. Oh, dude, this fly is killing me, bro.
I can see it flying around.
Dude, it's getting on my nerves.
Like that episode of Breaking Bad.
Dude. Okay.
Cryptid Coliseum, Eli Watson versus the fly.
Okay. The skunk ape tries to run from the giant, but the wampus cat claws him on his back. Caddy uses its new arms and legs to attempt to rise. It loses its balance and shuffles forward, crushing the skunk ape. The wampus cat just manages to move out of the way. Caddy uses its new arms to support itself, crushing large portions of the Colosseum in the process. The unicorn now recovers its balance and rids itself of the Owl Man's body. It then takes off into the sky, riding towards the Metal Man. Metal Man looks the opponent in the eye, and then, in a stunning and revelatory move, grasps the horn and flips himself on top of the unicorn, and they ride together, now one team.
Oh.
The wampus cat attacks Caddy's grotesque leg, but Caddy thinks it's a small bug, so it scratches itself and crushes Wampus into a paste. Okay. That only leaves Metal Man and his trusty steed versus the abomination of exaggerated truth.
Oh.
Metal Man shoots rocket bombs at Caddy's face, causing it to roar in pain. It swipes a hand at them, but it is no use. They are too fast. They sweep around it, firing round after round of rocket bombs, causing more harmful injuries that make it look uglier. Hand swipes continue, but as they continue to miss, Metal Man and Unicorn grow haughty, and they begin to take bigger risks. As they sweep in closer and closer, Caddy manages to grab the unicorn by one leg, and in a horrifyingly quick motion, the beast slams the unicorn into a marble pillar. The Metal Man, who managed to skillfully flip off the unicorn just before it was thrown, sees the unicorn's body crumple onto the ground. In the same motion of him jumping from his steed, he somersaults through the air, pulling out a shiny javelin and plants it into Caddy's eye. He feels it plunge into the abomination's brain, and he lets go, falling effortlessly and gracefully to the Colosseum floor below. He lands next to his trusted companion, breaking both of his legs as he lands. Unicorn is still breathing, and they begin to talk telepathically.
Okay.
Unicorn knows it's going to die, even as Caddy's monstrous body falls backwards and breaks the Colosseum apart. He begs for Metal Man to cut his horn off and use its healing properties to heal his own legs, for it is not right that both of them should die there. Metal Man looks at the opening in the Colosseum wall, stretching out into a spinning cosmos. The ground floor begins to break apart, a crack coming ever closer to them. The unicorn begs him one more time to take his horn, so Metal Man sits up and activates his laser beam and shears off the horn. As he holds it, he can feel his legs bending themselves back into place. It just sounds painful. Unicorn sees this and closes its eyes as it passes away, knowing it accomplished one more good deed for someone. The Colosseum floor breaks underneath Metal Man, and he falls into the cosmos. As the stars spin around him, he can't remember when they looked so pretty. Perhaps when he was a child on a distant planet long ago. If there were sounds in space, he was sure the sound of marble crumbling in on itself would be deafening, but he watched it all in silence as it disintegrated in front of him. Then, after a while, there was nothing, and he was alone, floating through space, a metal man on a voyage throughout the cosmos with no destination and no time, peaceful. But then an idea formed, a small one that grew until it became everything he ever wanted. He wanted to eat s'mores. I had to tie it back to the campfire somehow, so I was like, s'mores.
That's amazing that you did.
That was beautiful. Honestly, that was amazing. I could see it.
Really?
Like I literally like was picturing it. Like, wow, that was great.
Spinning cosmos. Yes.
Spinning around.
So good.
He's up there now, spinning around, wanting s'mores.
It's so good.
I have to say that is drastically different from what I wrote.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who's next? Are you next, Jasmine?
Yeah, I'm gonna go next.
I'm excited.
Hold on, let me make sure I clear my throat. I want to read this smoothly. All right. I feel kind of stupid with the route that I took for this story, but I don't know. As we say, I might have been working through some things.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh no, here we go.
It's not that bad, I promise. Here we go. Okay. The physics-defying, reality-bending Cryptid Coliseum has hosted countless battles dramatically narrated by the legendary Cryptid Campfire podcast. But today, the Coliseum sees its largest battle yet, as all of the challengers from this most recent tome re-enter the battlefield for one more chance at victory. Some have even been risen from the dead, having fallen defeated in their previous battles and now being given a chance to redeem themselves. The crowd can't decide where to look, as 4 chaotic matchups take place simultaneously in and around the Coliseum. On the main battleground is the skunk ape and the wampus cat. The wampus cat lets out a wailing cry as the skunk ape attempts to stomp her out with its enormous 4-toed feet. The Cadborosaurus and Owlman both circle the perimeter of the Coliseum. Will Caddy be able to drag the Owlman down to the depths of the water like she did the Van Meter visitor? Above the heads of spectators, rope-ins are flying rampant, and unicorns are sprinting across rainbows, bloodstains covering their horns. And somewhere, off in the distance, the Falkville Metal Man and Chambers Creature are just staring at each other in disbelief. The Coliseum has become completely unhinged. There never really were rules within these walls, but any hope for peace and reconciliation is completely absent. As the battles rage on, an earthquake suddenly begins to shake the grounds, knocking all of our cryptids off their feet. The crowd stumbles to keep their balance as the Coliseum rumbles, and suddenly, 2 enormous arms break free from opposite sides of the Coliseum. That's right, the Coliseum is alive.
Oh!
Oh.
A cryptid itself, perhaps? Ready for its own moment to shine, the Coliseum rises from the ground, ready to participate in battle. Our cryptids regain their footing and exchange glances across the arena. They know what they must do. They must join forces, for if they don't, they will surely be crushed by the crumbling Coliseum. But it's not in physical strength that they unite. It's in spirit, energy, and supernatural power. The crowd gawks, confused, as each creature comes together to join hands, hooves, paws, and claws, forming a circle within the arena. And in perhaps the strangest moment of it all, they begin to chant, in English, "Campfire, campfire, campfire." And slowly, flames begin to appear in the middle of their circle. And from those flames emerge 3 silhouetted figures. Alexander Daikaiju, Jasmine Maywith, and the Eli Watson have been summoned.
Amazing.
Eli has been here before, but only now does it feel right that he's joined by his powerful co-hosts. Though the Coliseum may not be able to express emotions, its fear can be felt, for they brought the Cryptid Coliseum into this world, and they can take it out. All spectators and previous challengers now exit the Coliseum, fleeing for their safety, and only Alex, Eli, and Jasmine remain to face the monster that they've made. The 3 co-workers turned podcast hosts turned friends look at each other and slowly nod their heads. It all comes down to this. They look back at the Coliseum, excitement in their eyes, and as they charge into battle, everything goes into slow motion. All 3 of them leap into the air, and just as they're about to make contact with the Coliseum's Hulk-like fists, the camera fades to black.
Wow.
The end.
Wow.
That's cool.
He said, "That's cool."
It's cool. It's cool though. It's interesting. That is
I like
totally
the Coliseum
different.
coming to life.
That yeah.
Coliseum comes to life.
That
We
raises so
appear-
many questions.
Yeah. Raises so many questions. Theological questions. You can summon us with a campfire.
Mhm.
Dude, this is getting that
The lore is getting a little out of control.
Yeah, now this is the splintering moment where we just start taking the lore in different ways.
this is the A, B, and C cannons, dude.
I mean,
This-
if you think like we actually have lore. It's kind of great. Like we got Toby, we got the whole storyline with Stefan. Like people
Where
hear
is
us talk.
he?
People
Where is
hear
he?
us talk about Stefan. They're like, "Who's Stefan?" We don't know who is Stefan.
Find the clues. Save
Find the
Stefan.
clues.
Save the world.
Oh,
Oh wow. Well, I gotta say those are some tough acts to follow.
Yeah,
Eli, that was
Alex,
fantastic.
don't even be bashful, dude. You're gonna blow us both out of the water.
Oh man, I don't know, because Eli, yours is good. Jasmine, yours is fantastic. Very different vibes too. I gotta say, I'm really liking like. All right, everyone. Now here's my story for the Cryptid Coliseum.
Oh boy.
Take a little water. Confetti and fireworks blast across the sky. Several huge blimps swim the blue cloudless skyline. It's a big day at the Cryptid Coliseum. Cryptid carnage is the main business in the Coliseum, and baby, business is a booming today. Crowd cheers and goes mad as we begin round one. Cowless cryptid combat. The giant metal gate opens. From the tunnel emerges a low growl, followed by several loud whoops. Then a green, stinky mist wafts out, a stench cloud belonging to the skunk ape, Florida's homegrown hominid with a thirst for oranges and unadulterated violence. Skunk ape beats his chest and bellows across the way. The other door opens, or the other gate opens. The feeling in the air changes, almost electrical. Metal beams creak slightly, and the lights flicker as a metallic, shiny creature emerges slowly and silently. The bright sun gleaming off the quiet metal man, it lifts its arm outward and remains still, giving the skunk ape shivers down his spine. Suddenly, there's a newly installed third door gate that opens. Brand new, so it's not as old. And from that tunnel, there's a soft, low rumbling begins, walking out into the sun and shocking the audience, I should say, clad in a leather jacket and a devil-may-care attitude. The E-Man, Eric effing Estrada, enters the fray. The skunk ape runs violently towards E-Man, who aims his Smith & Wesson .45, as seen in the Chupacabra vs. the Alamo. 10 takes the shot. Bullet fires off and in slow motion travels toward the monster monkey. Upon impact, the bullet enters the skunk ape's forehead, sending brains and cranial fluid spilling and spraying out in a slow motion parade of gratuitous gore.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The deceased ape falls to the floor with a thud, and E-Man points his weapon at the metal man, who remains still, arms still outstretched. E-Man walks over and pushes on the metallic metal figure, and it remains a statue. Estrada raises his fist in the air, the victor of round one, seemingly, which takes us to round two, wallowing water war. Suddenly, huge grates along the top of the edge of the arena begin to pour hundreds upon hundreds of gallons of water. The center of the Coliseum is quickly filled up with raging water rapids. From one of the tunnels swims out that lovable monster, the Cadborosaurus, who swims past a very still metal man who's submerged underground, under the water.
He's like a brick at the bottom.
Yeah, he's standing there. And from the opposite tunnel swims out a Volkswagen Beetle. Wait, that's no underwater automobile. That's Ohio Chambers creature. The oversized water horse that terrorized Ohio uses its little hooked limbs to swim past the thorny copes of the E-Man, Eric Estrada.
Oh.
He drowned, unfortunately, because being the winner of a round doesn't guarantee your survival in the next one, folks.
He just drowns.
A flawed being.
The two aquatic foes swim and glide on a collision course of cryptid killing. A sonic boom echoes loudly underneath the waves. The water grows violent and then eerily still. To the top surfaces Caddy, but her head is busted in. The impact with the hardened carapace of the chamber's creature proved to be a mighty force, and she's dead in the water.
Oh God.
My goodness, dude. What
The
is
water bug surfaces and doggy paddles a victory lap of round 2. And I think we're really rocking now, which takes us into round 3. Atrocious aerial acts.
Oh my God. These could, like these titles you're giving them could be like their own toys.
They really could.
As the chamber's creatures waddles in the water, shadows from above descend. A fury of wings and talons swoop and grab the chamber's creature out of the calm waters. The owl man screeches as it raises higher and higher into the air, digging its sharp claws and beak into the giant mutant monster like some kind of oversized escargot snail.
Ugh.
The owl man gnaws and snaps the outer shell and feasts on the giant bug in the sky.
Wow.
But it's not a peaceful meal as a giant pterodactyl interrupts. The grave digging roping collides midair, and the two flying monsters fall into an interlocked tangle of feathers and loud screeching. Audience members yell and scatter as the two cryptids fall into the stands with a loud explosion of splinters and dust. As the cloud of destruction fades, we see the owl man impaled on a wooden beam, and the roping struggles to right itself, the impact disorienting its body and mind. The owl man lets out one final blood-gurgling screech and falls over dead. And as the roping begins to right itself and flap its massive wings, suddenly a bright ray of rainbow lights fly across the arena and hit the pterodactyl. Seemingly unaffected, the roping flaps into the air. Each flap, it begins to split apart down the middle. Each wing movement causing the roping to tear itself apart into the two halves flapping violently and separate further and further, spilling blood and viscera everywhere. The cause of the rainbow beam? Why, it's our new Cryptid Coliseum champion, the unicorn.
Yeah.
Its majestic mane flies in the wind as it glides through the air, spraying rainbows and stars out of its glowing horn. Yay, 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 we have our champion. But with all the celebration and the carnage, no one has noticed that up above the once clear sky has filled with dark and stormy clouds. Lightning begins to dance and fly across the clouds. The unicorn can tell when the vibes turn bad and decides to beat it. When suddenly from the clouds burst 5 large shapes. 5 giant fingers curl out and a huge palm looms over the Colosseum. Deus ex machina, the literal hand of God, descends upon the Colosseum. The judgment has finally been reached. As the massive hand grows closer and closer, the gravity in the atmosphere begins to grow more unstable. The walls begin to contract and convex in unnatural ways.
The page flip.
Those in the Colosseum begin to feel a sense of both fear and ecstasy as they burn up from the emitting heat of judgment. Things begin to grow more and more abstract, and a huge white glow covers the landscape. Somewhere harps are playing, extremely beautiful, peaceful even. The white glow extends further and further, and then there's a huge flash, and then nothing. Total darkness over an empty field. No signs of the Colosseum or of civilization. The camera lingers on a small white pebble in the darkness. Next to it, a small plant begins to rise up and grow. The wind blows, and there's a faint hint of something familiar in the air. Fade to black.
Oh God.
So yeah, the hand of God showed up for the final opponent.
That, you know what? I said before we started recording that I was afraid we might have all done the same thing, but we did not. We went in very different directions, and I'm so glad because all three of these were so different and so great. Mine was the worst, but so great.
No, yours was great.
Yours
I
was
think.
good.
I think my idea was good. My execution could have been better had I spent more time trying to flesh it out. But the idea of the Colosseum coming to life and the three of us showing up in battle, those are two really
Those are good ideas.
solid things.
Those are
Yeah, that's for the Cryptid Campfire video game.
Bro.
dude. That's for the boss fight, dude.
It's
you have
us.
to summon. You have to summon us.
And you have to present an item of sacrifice for each
Oh
of
my
us.
goodness.
Oh yeah, and the only way to know is if you listen to all the episodes and pick up the clues.
God, can you imagine if that was something we did? Like, wow, like a scavenger hunt through all of our episodes. We didn't do that. This is not like
But
me
speak
trying
for
to
yourself,
hint that-
Jasmine.
I mean, maybe there's something hidden.
I've been dropping clues left and right in these past
Oh
tomes.
God.
Wow. Wow, that was pretty epic.
It was
Oh
pretty
yeah, nice send off for the Coliseum.
epic. Yeah.
It's brought us a lot of fun, a lot of pain, a lot of great battles,
Yeah.
a lot of carnage. Uh,
I think it's probably it's a little announcement that we got to make. So not only is this the final episode of our Cryptid Coliseum tome, but sadly it is also our last episode as part of the Paranormal Network. I wrote a little something that I'm going to read because I like to be formal, but I'm going to do that in a minute. I kind of just dropped the bomb that this will be our last YouTube video with the Paranormal Network, but I wanted to give Eli and Alex a chance to say anything that they might want to say before we say goodbye to everyone who's visually watching us on YouTube.
No, you go first.
No, you want me to go first?
I do.
Okay, I can go first. I don't have a problem with that. I just figured mine just is very like formal and silly. I felt weird writing it, but I felt weird not writing it. So this is just what I wanted to say. So the reason I wrote something like this is because I wanted to feel like I was giving it a proper goodbye, this partnership, a proper goodbye, because even though this was a short period of time that we've been working with the Paranormal Network, it was about 7 months. I don't want to sell the experience short. We were very lucky that our producer, Jason Hewlett, and executive producer, Baraj Garabedian, offered us this opportunity for our podcast while still allowing us to keep full creative and decision-making power. Joining the Paranormal Network gave us reasons to make upgrades to our equipment, introduce video with our audio, and helped expand our audience. And we're thankful for the ways that this endeavor has allowed us to grow both professionally and personally. And we are also grateful for how understanding and accepting Jason and Baraj were when they learned that we'd like to step away. This was our decision. This was something that we came to them with. They didn't ask us to leave. So thank you to everyone who has watched, liked, commented, and subscribed. We will not be having any new YouTube videos posted on the Paranormal Network's channel after this. This will be our last one, but we do hope that you'll stick around for all of their other great content and shows, because they got a lot going on over here. And with all that being said, we're also going to be taking an indefinite hiatus from the podcast in general, which is something that we do all the time. We break between seasons. We need some time to regroup and recover from a whirlwind 7 months of nonstop episodes, out of town expeditions, and events in our personal lives. But for everyone who's been watching on the Paranormal Network and everyone who's been tuning in and sharing the YouTube videos and who found us through the Paranormal Network, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the campfire. We really appreciate it. And we hope that you'll go back to our podcast platforms, so like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, things like that, because we have a bunch more of episodes that you could listen to that all happened before we joined the Paranormal Network. So if you found us through them, go look at our other stuff too. And thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And that's
I was gonna say, oh yeah, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an experience for sure. Definitely getting a chance to be a visual, get to be on YouTube with the Paranormal Network, and get a chance to cover some cryptids that we put off for a while. We got to check out Duendes and Ninjins.
Oh God, that feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we got to rock out a 3-parter of Nessie. That's
Oh,
3.5
honestly?
straight hours.
Highlight. Seriously, the Nessie series, which wasn't even supposed to be like a mini series, but ended up being a mini series anyways. Freaking loved that. Ugh.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and then just being able to do a tome to bring back the Cryptid Coliseum, get people on YouTube to experience the cryptid carnage. Another reason why we need a break, because we've been writing nothing but cryptid battles for months. It'll soak into your brain in ways you don't realize.
Yeah. No, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, you
No,
hang
I said
up.
my
No,
piece.
no, wait, you go ahead.
You hang up.
No, yeah, it's been a journey with the Paranormal Network, and it's just a lot is happening, I think, in our personal lives, and we need a good break. So
Yeah.
you know.
And we don't want to just make stuff just for the sake of having something to put out. Like we want, if we're going to put stuff out, we want it to be good. And we've just felt a lot of pressure just from outside sources, not anything to do with, the Paranormal Network itself, just outside things that have been happening in all of our lives. We just don't feel like we can commit to putting out the good content that we want to be a part of the Paranormal Network. So we're just gonna take a step back.
Yeah, and to avoid complete burnout.
Yeah, that
the
too.
last thing I want to do is hate this podcast.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
but that'll happen if we kept pushing it too far. So
Yeah. It's just time for a hiatus, like I said.
Yeah, it's been like a crazy school year, and summer's coming up, baby.
oh yes.
So we can take a break.
I didn't realize you were making an analogy for a second, and I was like, who's in school?
Oh, yeah, cryptid school.
Cryptid school.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and thank you to all the Patreon subscribers for helping us out. I will be pausing the Patreon for the hiatus. So, but thank you guys so much for literally, some of you have been subscribed for years. Like, thank you. Your contributions have helped make this podcast. So
Literally, like, your contributions, I'm pretty sure, are what we were able to buy our equipment with. Like, our webcams came from money that we had been building up from Patreon and things like that. So thank you. Do we have a Patreon member that we want to thank? Did we look that up yet? Is there someone we can thank today?
Well, we're thanking them all. Read out the list, Eli.
Yeah, thank them all. All right, here we go. I have DMs on Patreon.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh, we heard you were pausing it, and we're not sure.
Well, let's see. Where did we leave off last time?
I don't remember.
Well, I remember thanking Eddie Naps. You know what? I'll just thank everyone.
All right, let's go.
Thank everyone. It's only 23.
It's a very strong 23.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll start with thank you to Cosmic Box Turtle.
Yeah.
Jesus Paulo Canos, River Bauer, the Singular Fortean Society, Mark Trollinger, Parker Crehan.
I salute you, Sergeant Parker.
Felicia Kelly Trent, Eddie Naps, Ashton Rosenthal, Kat Hildreth, Scott Cody, Threshy,
Yeah.
Sam Sully, Rachel S., Leo Amel, Patrick Toman, Taylor Patterson, Tyler. Thanks. Josh Wood, Justin Lucas, Lynn Ann Price, Mike Casey, and Dan Valenzuela. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you
Those are
guys
the
so
dream
much.
team.
We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Well, I think, does that bring it to a close?
I think that brings it to a close. The gates are closing.
Gates closing. People are leaving. There's popcorn, sodas, blood and guts all throughout the aisles of the arena. Get the big mop and just start brushing it off.
Yeah, the thing about the Coliseum is it intrigues me. It intrigues me that people kept coming back to watch the battles, even though people in the audience would die quite often.
We don't advertise that. That's
yeah. Well, if you notice too, there seems to be an effect when you go to the Coliseum, where you just become mad with the bloodlust. The audience members are usually insane at that point.
Yeah.
Or they, who knows if you can even buy a ticket? You might just be abducted one day and find yourself as a audience member.
You just wake up in the Coliseum like the Wampus Cat did in Eli's battle.
See, okay, there's more questions. Who operates it? Who operates the Coliseum? Like, even if the Coliseum is a being on its own, is it abducting people? I don't know. This is the confusion.
Yeah. Well, since Jasmine added the fact that it can grow arms, because we know that it has tank treads every so often, so now you can imagine just a mobile Coliseum grabbing people and just throwing them inside it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Eli and Alex, for being great co-hosts and doing this podcast with me.
Right back at you.
Excited to take a break, but
yes,
take a break from the podcast, but not from my friends.
Yeah, we still hang out and talk. We just don't record it sometimes.
We'll start recording all of our hangouts. How about that?
That'll be the next podcast. Yeah.
Oof. I don't know. I don't know if I want some of those things getting out there.
Truth, honestly. All right.
Next time you see us, we'll be twice as good.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't hold
Twice
me to
as
that
long.
promise. I could be twice as bad.
We'll be twice as good. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah.
And thank you
Bye.
all for helping. We want to thank you guys for listening to Cryptid Campfire. We really appreciate it, and we'd appreciate it even more if you left us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps us rank, and more people can find us and join the campfire. If you haven't yet, consider following us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. That's at Cryptid Campfire on all three. Be sure to check out our website, cryptidcampfire.com, where you can find campfire t-shirts and other merch, as well as our weekly blog, expanding upon what we talk about in the episodes. If you've done all that, consider subscribing to our Patreon page. $5 a month gets you access to exclusive episodes and wallpapers that haven't been released anywhere else. For the price of a coffee, you will be directly helping us make this show the best it can be. If you want to follow our hosts, you can find their personal profiles on Instagram at Jasmine May With, that's JasmineMaewith, at Alex Daikaiju, that's at AlexDaikaiju, and at the Eli Watson. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week.
This podcast is a part of Straight Up Strange Productions. Discover more shows like this one at straightupstrange.com.